guys and gals. Nary here from Drake Wing Gaming. Some of you know me on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you on a Let's Play episode of Conway, Julian's Path. So let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go. Alrighty. Who is the captain, if I may ask? Sir. Hawke. Sir Edward Hawke. His expression brightens slightly as the name crosses his lips. Before your time, lad. You can stop pretending to look like you know who he is. Back then I learned under him as a fresh-faced young stallion assigned as a midshipman to HMS Royal George. She was the largest ship in the world at the time, 100 guns to her name. Beauty itself manifest in a vessel. You can probably imagine how it felt to first set hoof aboard it. I think I can, sir. I'm not sure if I actually drew a lucky lot or not. It was wartime, and I found myself aboard during the battle at Quiberon Bay. A decisive engagement, however that one could have gone south just as easily. But, shaped by Hawke's brilliance at every turn, we lived to see another day. I still remember it vividly. Despite violent weather and uncharted waters, he ordered us to pursue the French ships into the bay. The shoals and jagged rocks could have split any hole wide open, and we had no maps to guide us. But Hawke gave the command and used the very ships we were chasing as his guide. Our master urged caution, pointing out the shore to our leeward side. Hawke adjusted his hat and stood tall amongst the rest of the crew, saying only, "You've done your duty, sir. Now lay me alongside the Soleil Royale." And no one raised any concerns? The way he said it, there wasn't an ounce of doubt in his voice. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't bravado or recklessness. It was certainty. Even as the wind screamed, I had to hold onto my cap. He stood there, firmly rooted like a mast. I'd never seen anything like it. Did I like the idea? Of course not, but I trusted him with my life. What happened then? A reminiscent smile spreads across Arthur's face, his eyes losing themselves in the distant night. Recounting the whole battle would leave us still standing here by midday, lad. But we got what we wanted. We ran the Soleil Royale aground and set her ablaze, along with several other ships. I had to replace one of the gunners. One of the guns I was commanding was thrown out of commission due to an injury to our loader. I had my finest hour. We were slower than everyone else around us, but we landed our shots during what was a difficult engagement. Sent them back home with their tails tucked between their legs. We felt it at the time, and it indeed bore true. It was a victory that crushed any notion of a French invasion and allowed us to blockade their harbors until the war's end. As Arthur speaks of Sir Hawke, you can't help but feel a twinge of envy. The thought of standing on a deck, unshaken amidst chaos, commanding men who trusted you with their lives. Though you felt anything but certain during your stay aboard, perhaps you were getting ahead of yourself, given that you haven't even made it through your second week aboard. Or perhaps you will always be the landsman struggling to keep pace. That day, it changed me. Don't get me wrong, I thought I'd end up a Navy lad as long as I can remember. My father managed to secure my position as a midshipman on the Royal George in the first place, wanting me to learn under Sir Hawke. Before that, it was just duty. Something expected of me, but after Quiberon Bay, it became more than that. I saw what it meant to command, not just to give orders, but to inspire men to follow us. After that day, I wanted it. Edward. Sir Hawke became more of a father to me than my own. Not in the familial sense, but in the eyes of a young stallion as a guide for the man I wanted to be. The man who would teach me everything I know. I still catch myself asking what he would do, especially when the decision feels impossible. I suppose it's the mark of a great leader, the way they linger in your mind long after they've gone. Gone? Is he not with us anymore? You hold your tongue for a moment, lowering your eyes to the waves again. I'm very sorry to hear, sir. For what little it's worth coming from me, I think he sounds like a truly magnificent captain, sir. Worthy of admiration. How long did you serve under him? Until his retirement from active duty in, I believe, 1763. I was glued to every step and every word of his until then. He was the one who penned my recommendation to take the lieutenant's exam. Even after that, we stayed in touch during his political career, and I always had his ear when I needed his advice. It must have been an honor to learn from someone like him. Though I am certain that many of the crew feel the same way about you, sir. He lets out a single barking laugh, apparently not agreeing with your assessment. Spare me the flattery, Mr. Kelly. I'm not even a tenth of the man Sir Hawke was. I had the chance, I did. The day I passed the exam, I became one of the youngest lieutenants who ever did. Really, I did my best to leave them with no choice but to pass me by surpassing every other applicant. I didn't want to leave them the option to turn me down just because I was considered too young. Arthur shakes his head, glancing at the gathered crew before looking back at you. But excuse my little excursion into cobweb memories. I'm sure they must bore you to no end. Bore me? Anything but, sir. It sounds like it was a fascinating path to get you where you are right now. I just wish we had started off on a better note. Fascinating indeed. Can't imagine just how much more excited I would have been joining the ship if I had known about the experience my officer would have. Perhaps on a calm day you can tell me more about it all? Either way, I hope that we can put our differences aside, sir. He turns towards the stern and you hear his heavy hoof steps settle onto the wood, his arms neatly folded behind his back. But he stops in his tracks before taking another step and looks back over his shoulder. Well, I did not waste my time delving into old memories, at least. You know, Mr. Kelly, you remind me of... Yes? He shakes his head. Never mind. Take the sight for a while longer, lad. I doubt even half the crew would make it up the mast distracted like this. I'm not planning to risk that, so we'll stay our hands until we pass through these burning seas unless it is absolutely necessary. But... He pauses and looks up into the sails above to study their state and the weather. I doubt it'll be needed. And James... Yes, sir? Welcome back aboard. You watch as he strides towards the stern, his form disappearing into the shadows of the ship's wood, until even your sharp eyes can barely make him out as he enters the ship through the hatch. For a moment you just stand there, the wind tugging at your fur and the glow of the sea stretching endlessly around you. If it didn't yet, then now things are finally sinking in and you let out a relaxed breath, the first truly calm breath in days. Morocco. Perhaps getting some firm ground under your paws will do you well. Sunday, June 19th, 1791. Day 14. Mogador, Morocco, Atlantic coast of northern Africa. In Morocco, the port of Mogador is tantalizingly close. The city's walls are straight, imposing, and precise. Exactly... Sorry, I'm a bit sick right now. Exactly like you've always imagined a castle might look. The Conway is near enough for you to see each wave breaking against the cliffs, and your excitement is growing increasingly difficult to contain. You're not the only one waiting. Arthur and two sailors took the jolly boat ashore to negotiate your entry into the port. You don't know how long that usually takes, but it feels like an eternity. For now, the ship is all but motionless, rocking gently at anchor. There is, as always, the usual work required to keep the Conway, well, shipshape. But compared to the previous weeks of sailing, that's hardly a chore at all. And, of course, one of a sailing ship's most precious commodities is rumor and speculation. You decide to figure out if anyone else knows more about what's going on. The lizard glances up at you when you approach. He's finished scrubbing the deck, apparently, and is lounging, leaning back against the rigging. He gets to his feet, though, perhaps expecting that the two of you have been given something else to do. Ready to head back to dry land, James? If we ever actually dock, what's taking them so long? Are we waiting for waiting for wind or something? No. Have you been to Morocco before? Well, no, of course not. Have you? No, and I'm sure the captain would like us to be able to leave again. He grins and indicates a rocky island lying off the ship's bow, which would be harder to do if we run aground. Is that what they're doing? Finding a solution for, maps or something? Maybe. Perhaps a local guide to get us around any hidden shoals. Or maybe he's been captured by pirates. I heard this used to be a pirate haven. You're not quite certain how serious you're supposed to take him. Or maybe he's been captured by pirates. Okay. Really? You've never heard of the Barbary pirates? The Barbary coast wasn't safe to travel until, well, you're flying the wrong flag. It's still not always safe. Ugh. God. Ugh. Are we flying the right flag? Use your head, will you? We'd hardly be here politely knocking at the front door if we were. They probably won't bother us, but how are you with a cutlass? He grins and pantomimes swinging a sword with a dramatic flair. I'll let you handle that. A cry of boat ho from the lookout perks your ears. Given the topic of conversation, you can't help but feel your heartbeat briefly quicken. But it's on its own. As the small craft approaches, you realize it's the ship's jolly boat. A fourth figure has joined the sailors from the Conway. Samuel is making his way over to the davits, which the crew have swung out in preparation. You decide to see what's going on, even if you can already guess it'll mean being asked to help. Sure enough, no sooner do you hear Arthur ordering the jolly boat hoisted back aboard than one of the crew motions towards the ropes. Make yourself useful and help grab the falls, why don't you? You join 3 other sailors on the right davit. Samuel directs you with his paws, keeping the 2 teams hauling at the same speed lest you tip the boat over. It's hard work, but at least you're close enough to see the newcomer. He's a cheetah dressed in light, flowing robes. Imagine he must not be a sailor. Even in a strange new land like Morocco, those kind of loose-fitting clothes are just asking to be caught up in a block or blown into his face under a stiff wind. A simple merchant? A government official? Nobility, perhaps? Mr. O'Connor! Arthur steps aboard after you've secured the falls and the jolly boat is stable. The maned wolf comes to attention. Reflexively, so do you. After all, what if the cheetah is a Moroccan prince? Yes, sir? His clothing Oh, he is handsome. His clothing presents no hindrance when the cheetah makes his graceful way over to the gunwale. Arthur gestures towards him in an introduction. Harriet Abu al-Barakat is our pilot. I have assured him we're in perfect health and don't need to be quarantined. Quarantined around here? Are they expecting the plague? But that's true, yes. We're all healthy here. Indeed. Now, that means we can weigh anchor and head for our berth at once. There is a complication. Sir? Normally we'd pass north of Mogador Island to enter the port, but Harriet believes we should sail around the island and approach from the south. The wind today. Not as good. Maybe tomorrow, but... We've got cargo waiting to be loaded. And as we say, time is golden. The charts we acquired before leaving show the southern span to be rocky, and shallow enough to walk across at low tide. And I don't know about you, but in my calculations, a grounded ship is a larger pile of coins sinking to the depths of the ocean. Need not fear it, sir. Before, yes, but now, even for you. You'll have 1 foot. 2, perhaps. Harriet tells us that the shoals have been dredged. The channel is narrow. All the same, I'm convinced we can manage it. Alright, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and that notification bell. I love you all, and I shall see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!